Hey there family, welcome back to Blockchainify. Today I'm going to show you how you can set up a grid bot on Kucoin and how to use tokens that you have instead of adding new funds. Like I explained to you in the last video, which should pop up here. This is my approach to generate some income or to try to get out from some deals that I'm stuck in. And I don't want to hold that coin maybe for long term. Also, please remember, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just showing you how I do this stuff for myself. Now let's go. Here we are on Kucoin. To end up here, you need to go on the trade tab and choose trading bot. And this page will load for you. And here you can see different kind of bots, but I'm interested in this one because this is the one I talked about. And this is the one that I think it suits very well to try to generate some profits from the volatility of the tokens I own and trying to get to a break-even price before I might decide to just sell that coin at the break-even maybe, or take some profit and focus on other ones. Or maybe at some point I might still consider to hold them, but at least you can do something. You don't just have these assets laying around and not doing anything, right? Because when the price is still dropping, yeah, you don't get any profits and you are still under the water and you don't want to sell before it reaches at least break even, right? Or maybe the profit you plan to have in the first place. Now you can see it here. What's important to know about this is that you are allowed to make only 10 grid bots, or I think it might be 10 bots in general. So it's very important to keep that in mind. Although it's a free service, you don't need to pay any extra money for this. This is the limitation compared to something like 3 commas, where you can have an unlimited number of bots in the most expensive plan. So have that in mind. I have already 9 bots, so this is going to be the last one. Something else important to have in mind is that the minimum amount you can invest in a bot is $40 or an equivalent amount of tokens that are worth $40 at the time of starting the bot. So that's also important to mention. But yeah, it's not a huge amount of money, so I don't think that's a huge issue. When you start this, you can see it here. These are the AI parameters, artificial intelligence parameters, and this generates a specific price range it wants to sell and buy tokens at. So it can generate some profit, right? To make this easier understandable, I will use 3 commas grid bot. And in this case, MTV, I will load MTV. USDT, this is what I want to do. And here actually we can see what is happening. So very briefly again, what is this grid bot doing? You see these lines, these orange lines and the green lines, right? So what the bot is doing, it's selling a specific amount of the tokens you have at these orange lines and is buying at the green ones, right? And you earn every time the difference between these two lines, right? So this is what it's doing. That might not seem like much, but look at this market, look how much it fluctuates, right? So it is taking advantage a lot about these fluctuations. And of course you can adjust this. You can adjust the number of the grids. In this case, we have only 10. I never use 10, I use 50 or more because I don't want to target too larger profit. Now that you understand what these lines are doing, in this specific case, because I don't want to start a grid bot just with new funds, or I don't want to add new funds for the bot I want to use, there are some important points to keep in mind. First and foremost, you need to know the price where you can break even with your tokens, because that is your target. You don't want to sell cheaper because that way you will sell at a loss, of course, right? So let's say I want to use 100 grids, right? Or let me keep it simpler and let's say 10 for now. And let's say that I got stuck in this trade. I have this MTV somewhere around here, let's say. Let's take this peak right here. Let's say I bought something around here, right? 0.011. So the upper limit, I will set to 0.011. And the lower limit, I need to set it just above the current price because I don't want to put in more money, right? Because if I leave it as it is right now, you see these two lines, I will need to have some dollars as well to add to this bot to buy at this level, right? So in order to avoid that, I want to write, let's say we see the current price is 0.0068. I'll write 0.00695, let's say. So the price won't go above before I start the bot, right? Or maybe just to be sure, 0.007, let's say. Cool. Now, if you do this, if you set them this way, let's assume that the price will go straight up, right? From this price right here, straight up to your entry price, right? To your average entry price. If that will happen, then you will end up with an average price of the middle between this current price and the highest price or your entry price, right? So because of that, I want to double this up. So instead of 11, I will make it 22. So in this case, if this almost impossible scenario, not impossible, but very unlikely scenario for the price to just go straight up, like in this case, for example, but even here, like here, just like here, very, very abruptly upwards, right? If that is going to happen, then everything you sell, it will average to the price in the middle, which is going to be your entry price, right? Now, if you have some technical analysis experience, then maybe it's not the best because it's mostly unlikely it will reach here overnight or right away, right? So personally, I don't think it will happen exactly right now. So I would prefer to lower it so I can get this grid width lower, because this grid width is very important, because that means this is the price fluctuation that these lines can take profit at. But of course I have only 10. If I put 100 here, you can see the price is between 0.68 and 2.1. So let's say I will do 50, because I want to put these lines in a way that this percentage right here is not too high, that I can sell and buy as often as possible. And at the same time is not too small. So it will make sense to not just pay fees for trading and not have any gains, right? That's important to understand. Now, why you have this variation right here is because of the higher it goes, this percentage has less significance, right? Because if the price is here, so in other words, the first one is the space between this line right here, the second last line, and the last line. And the other price, the other percentage right here, it's the price between the first line and the second line. Because here on the chart you have that the same dimension, but because the price it's lower, that segment right there will amount to a higher percentage. And after that, it will keep going lower and lower. So this is important to have in mind as well. Now, there is another issue. Let's say this is the perfect strategy, and this would be quite decent to do, right? Because you plan to put this upper limit to make sure that if a pump happens, you will not sell everything at a loss. And that's important, especially with the smaller cap coins. At the same time, there is a limitation on Kucoin, and here I will do something else because I don't want to use these AI parameters. I will go to customize, and here I want to use my range, my specific range, right? And here, if I click that, it will be filled with the AI parameters. I want to use 100 orders no matter what anyway. And let's see, in my case, I have the lower limit order here. So let me just copy and paste that like this, and 0.022 as upper limit. And sometimes what it happens is if this value, the upper value is too high, Kucoin bot will tell you it cannot go so high, so you will need to use a lower limit. And sometimes that is even lower than your average entry. But that still makes sense, and this is actually the limitation of this bot. And to mitigate that, another approach would be, for example, to not use your entire 100% of those tokens and maybe leave on the side 20%. If the price goes much higher than your average entry price, then you can sell that 20% when you will be in profits. If the price pumps so hard, right? That's most probably won't happen, but it's a good approach, I would say. Personally, I am not using that because it's not a huge amount of money I have here. And if it happens that I will sell at a loss of minus 10 or 5%, it's fine, it's no problem. But it's a problem right now when I am minus 70% under the water, right? So I will definitely be much happier to do that. But if I want to just make sure 100%, like I said, I can keep 10, 15 or 20% of the tokens and sell them at a higher price. Even set a sell limit order at the price that will make that deal break even, right? So that's the approach. If you don't use 3 commas, like I said, I don't have a paid plan yet. I think I'm very close to purchase one, but for now I am trying to take advantage of what Kucoin has, and it's pretty decent. 10 bots, right? Let's be honest. It's not 1 or 2 bots. It's 10 bots, and that's very cool. And you can use one for free from 3 commas as well. Only one it's available. So just so you know. And just as a reminder, stay tuned because I plan to make more tutorials about 3 commas in general. Grid bots, DCA bots, and so on. Yes, I think this was very important to remember in this case because, like, let me show you here. If I type in 1, I get a message from Kucoin that the upper price shall be lower than 0.034, right? So I cannot have this higher limit right here. And you will face that if you are 70% down on your investment, then you will have situations when you need to set the price above that and you cannot do it. But like I said, just keep a part of the funds and you can sell them. But that will impact the way you will make the profits, right? So it will take a little bit longer for the grid bot to get you back in profits. As I said already before, this is not a good strategy if you expect a strong bullish market, because you will just make more money waiting and getting to the previous level. There's no point in selling lower, right? Because the bot will sell much cheaper than you want to take profits at. So does not really make sense. And the best market is actually when the market goes sideways. When the market is dumping, it doesn't really have such a big impact because we have already the tokens. This is very important when you are investing only stablecoin and you want to start a bot. It's very important to not invest, because you will end up exactly in this situation, stuck with some coins at a higher price and the price will be below, right? So this is not an issue because we don't set any buying price below the current price. So that's why we won't buy cheaper than we are selling. Let's say that I want to set this as high as possible, just to be sure, 0.034, 0.034, right? And you can see here the profits agreed after the fee and the interval between these grids. I'm not very worried about this as well, because as the price goes higher, I can also adjust the grid range so that I can increase this taking profits percentage. If I want to do that, that's an option. In the case I have very many buying grids below the current price, that could be an option. You can see here, right? This red text, minimum investment is $40 and you need to have some money to start this bot. Like I said, $40. Now you see this sliding bar right here. This is very important. Use MTV, and I will click on that. And here it's telling you that it's going to sell and buy MTV, blah, blah, blah. Of course, that's what I want to do. And in this case, you can use your MTV. You see here at the bottom, let me zoom in this like this, 0 MTV plus 0 USDT, right? So if I go to 100% here, I will invest 6,000 MTV plus roughly $19, right? Now I want to reduce this until I get only MTV without dollars. It's difficult to get this 100% exactly, but it's okay to get it close to what you want to do, right? And let's say this is very good actually, yes. 6,027 MTV from 6,040 doesn't really make any difference. It's very close and I can market sell that where I am at least break even, right? Cool. So now we defined all the parameters and now I can click on create. And here in advance, you can set a take profit price. If you set here this price, then I think the bot will sell everything and return your money from the bot to your trading account. It's very important to remember that to start a bot, you need funds or assets in the trading account, not in your main account on Kucoin. Cool. I don't want this. Like I said, I will just following and monitor closely this bot. And when it gets closer to where I want it to be, I will just close it manually, I think, because I don't have actually a price when I want to take profit. I will wait until it will sell enough to generate enough profit that it will make sense to close the position and be break even at least. So I'll click on create and we get this right here, and I will click on confirm. And here we go. You can see the other bots right here. Now, there is another important point here to make, and that is if we look at the chart, something that I used to do because I want this bot to be very active, it is to lower the entry price. Let's say the price gets lower, right? Because if the price falls, let's say MTV crashes from here to this area, right? And if I did not sell any MTV, then I will lower my entry price. But it's very important to lower it to a level that it is above the current price. So it won't be below, because if it is going to be below, you need to add funds. It's easy, right? And it's very easy to do that. You just go here, you see already your price range right here. You can just type in watching reading from there, 0.7 and here 0.034. Let's say the price went down to 0.05, right? Then I would type in 0.051. Just to be sure that the price won't go above it before I confirm this, right? And that's it. In this case, you give the chance to your bot to start doing trades as soon as possible. Now, something else very important to have in mind is that if, for example, there is a flash crash, something like in this case right here, when you see something similar like this, then I don't think it's a good idea to start the bot, and maybe it's best to wait few hours or days to stabilize, because you might end up starting your bot very low and the price might go just higher from there, right? And then you will sell a lot of coins in this case. Here is good because actually we had a lot of action in this area, but there are other situations, maybe like here, and of course because it went lower. But in this case, right, you see that the price goes here, and you are on the hourly chart, you will see other candles here, and you say, yes, I'll move my lower price here, and that won't be good, because if the price from here goes up, you just will sell much more at a lower price, and that's not good. So this is the only thing that comes to my mind that I would be aware about, to be sure that we are consolidating in a way, even if the market is bearish, but just to be sure that you are not buying when a flash crash is happening. Something else to have in mind, it's what you're gonna see here. You will see these total profits, which actually, as long as you don't have any transactions, or as long as the price is below your entry price, doesn't matter, because you don't have any buying orders below, right? And you did not actually lose anything. You still have the same amount of coins. You did not sell anything. And you can see here, this is the difference from this, right? This is the floating profits and loss, which is exactly this number from here. And here is the grid profits, the profit made from selling and buying. In this case, I don't have anything, but let me show you. You can see this one right here. B Pro, this bot right here, has 3 arbitrages. You can see here in the last 24 hours. And this is the profit, 0.53 cents. It's not much, of course, but like I said, this adds up. This is not a strategy that happens overnight. It takes time, of course, and you need to be patient. But we can see right here that I have 0 buys. You see, all my orders are for sale. So in this case, if the price drops lower, I can still move lower my price range, right? Because you can see here the price is at 0.00285 and my entry price is 0.029, right? I could lower it a bit if I want, right? To be sure that I catch more action. And then let's say I want to track, to have a better overview over everything, what's happening, and what is my price target. And then I will use a spreadsheet, let's say red bag, or let's say grid bots. And let's say I have name or token, amount, average price cost, and break even price, which is going to be your target, right? Not price, but break even. Here I will add current price actually, because we need that. So let's say I have 6,000 MTV, and I have 6,000, like I said, and let's say 0.016. I think it's something like that. I think it's somewhere from my memory. And the current price, was it 0.069? 0.069, 2 zeros. That's important. And something else that I need here to find out when I become break even, I need to also include the grid profit, because that's what matters to me, grid profit. Because I will calculate this break even from the value of the assets I still own plus the profits from the grid bot. Here I will have total cost. I need this. So just to make it easier to understand, and is this, let's say it cost me $96 and the current price, and to make it even easier, current value. Cool. And we can see now the value of the tokens I want, it's only $41. So my target is $96, or let's say in this case $100, right? Let's say that I want to have some profits in this. And let's say the grid profit right now it's $5, and this break-even value is 100. To find out when I can do that, because this grid profit will just grow over time, right? I want to take profits at $100 and minus this plus this, and this needs to be 0. So when I'll have $10 in grid profits, we will see that this goes lower, right? The difference between our investment and the current price. This is what is happening here. And yes, if you track this weekly, or I don't know, daily maybe, you will have a quite good understanding when you are closer to this value. And when you get closer to it, you can just pull the trigger and just sell everything. And that's very easy to do. If you click here, you can see that you can click on this and return MTV coins and USDT back in your wallet if you have any USDT. But in this case, I did not have any sale, so I have only MTV. Or choose this option and convert to USDT at best market price. So it's going to sell all your tokens, MTV in my case, and return USDT in your trading account. Very simple. So in this case, when you reach to break even and you just want to quit holding that coin, just click on convert this and you'll have reached your mission. So these total profits right here is not so important, especially because you are going to lower your price if the price will go below. And all these changes will have an impact. So this won't be really accurate. The most accurate is going to be this. This is a very basic and not the best way to put this out, but it is enough to understand the concept behind this. What is the target and what's happening? Let's say that the price goes up to 0.009, for example, right? Even the grid profits now increases to $20. And during this, the grid profits increases to $20. Now I am only minus 26 in this situation. And I can consider if I want to wait more, or I can take this loss, $26, and just forget about that token. That's another option. It's been a bunch of information in this video. I hope you really understood something, but if not, please do not hesitate to take contact with me. Leave me a comment and ask me if there is something I left out or I forgot to explain or I did not explain well enough so you could understand. At the same time, don't forget that you can access and join my Discord server where you can also ask me directly about that and I can help you more there. And important to remember, this Discord server is for free to join. With the hope that it made sense to some degree at least, I thank you for watching, liking, commenting and subscribing, and see you next time.